Pretty cool tune. What's up, brother? What's up, man? How are you? Afternoonez.
And yes, Afternoonez.
Afternoonez. Just put an S on the end of everything.
Oh, about everything and make it Spanish.
Make it Española. Okay,
either an S or an A.
You know, I hate when... I shouldn't say hate. You could try to remove that word from... I don't like when people... When like, they say... like... Damn, how... A coffee... Like, when you go to order a coffee, they say, S coffee? Yeah, like, they say S in front of it sometimes. Oh. Well, S coffee? No, just a coffee, not a S coffee. S coffee. No, not a S coffee. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. And then it's just one of those crazy things. There's our theme. So how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
It is beautiful outside.
It's beautiful out. After we had that thing last week about get ready for winter, make sure you get your boots on and shit. And it's now...
It's 50 some odd degrees
today. Yeah, 50
today.
plus degrees. Beautiful. I threw my jacket off. I didn't even need that jacket.
I just don't understand. I'm at the point now where I just don't understand.
No.
I have no idea what's happening.
This is actually like normal though. This is like...
Correct.
Low 50s is what it's supposed to be this time. What it normally has been this time of year.
Yeah, but we've had like 19 degrees at Thanksgiving. Which everyone was like, oh.
It was fucking freezing.
And then the National Weather Agency puts out a report that says, get ready.
We're all going to die.
Yeah, this is it. Like, this is like the biggest winter ever. You might be like the day after tomorrow where the guy walks from DC to Philly, or he walks from like Boston. He walks from DC to Boston in 2 days, or in a day. Like, I don't know how the fuck you do that. I'm all for the sci-fi, I like it, but the fact that he walked in the freezing cold, I can't even walk to the bus stop.
No.
In snow and all that. This guy was trekking and trying to find his mate or whatever. Whatever that was. I hope so as well.
But everything's got to be Armageddon for it to.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be.
It can't just be like regular shit.
Yeah,
it can't just like because it's nothing. Nothing's happened that's new.
Right, rain.
There's nothing new. It rains, snows. We get really cold weather.
Yep. I think it's just the sequence of it sometimes. People kind of want the steady, hey, the calendar changed, we're in winter, let's go winter.
Let's go winter.
Like, because what I'm doing now is...
Pull out your clothes.
I got both sets. I've never put them away. It's like, okay, I got spring jackets out, I got winter clothes, I got a box of stuff that I should have brought. Like, what the fuck do I do? I don't know.
Can you get away with just wearing a suit?
Yeah.
Or do you need the
That's
overcoat?
my biggest challenge in the morning. I'm like, can I just... If I listen to Bill Evans, it's perfect suit weather. I'm like, no, it's not, dude. It's not fucking
That's
perfect.
Right. Somebody drove you to work, nigga.
You have a car service.
Somebody stayed outside your place waiting to take you to work.
Right.
Don't tell me what the weather's like. I got to wait for a bus. I got to wait for a train.
Right. And he does like 5 minutes in front of the bagel cart in the morning. Oh, the dog. Perfect place for walkie dogs. And it's perfect. Get your gear and go outside and have a good time.
Right. Meanwhile, there's somebody, like, if he does go outside, there's somebody there waiting for his coat.
Right, with the big ABC umbrella.
Are you ready, Bill?
Yeah.
Cover him up as soon as he gets home.
Right. Such a farce way of telling us the news.
Yeah.
In lighter nights, we went to Michelle's 50th birthday.
Was that fun?
It was really fun.
Yeah.
Not as crowded as a lot of people said they were coming.
How big was the place?
Place
Because
was
I
huge.
never heard of it.
Place was huge.
Uh-huh.
It's in Lindenhurst.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Bizu. It's a catering hall, so it's
Yeah.
not a restaurant. It's just for
Okay.
that only. So you do your own thing, which seems to be right now is the mode of transportation for anybody with a brick and mortar place that had a restaurant. That's
Just rent it out.
Just gut it and rent it out.
Rent it out. Do what you
Pay
want.
per play.
Don't burn the place down.
No, don't have a working kitchen serving
Right.
lunches, dinners, and all. You waste your money.
Right.
You bring in the food per the event, and that's the best thing you could do. Because then you can hold a daytime party for
Right.
baby showers and bridal. Then you can
Right.
have dinner parties. Then you can have. I mean, it's the best thing if you have a space with brick and mortar. We talked about the Home Depot
Right,
closing
right.
and all that other stuff. I mean, gosh, these. Well, the place was nice. It was really nice. It was decked out. It was a black and red theme. I saw Tanya and PJ was there, and the two of them have been like hanging since back then. You know what I mean?
They still hang together?
They were still together. Like
Okay.
I was like, "Are you guys like inseparable or what the fuck?" And they were like, "Nah, we still friends, man. That's my best friend." And
Are they still in Queens?
So Tanya's in Queens, and I think PJ's out in Long Island somewhere.
Okay.
She was just tell your brother, tell your brother. And I was like, we didn't exchange numbers and stuff.
Right.
I was like, all right, I'll get in touch with you guys through Michelle. Tula Man was there, of course.
Uh-huh.
He sat at our table, him and Naima. And that was pretty much it from the back in the block, like from our people that
Okay.
really hung with us. And seeing Dennis, remember her brother Dennis.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's like, I see you, man. you grew up, yeah. We all do that.
Yeah, that had it.
And it was such a fun time. She was in such glory. Mr. C was the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Shawnee works at Hot 97. Big up Shawnee Culture, showing us a lot of love. And he had Mr. C there. Mr. C really did a good job.
Nice.
The finisher, as they call him.
The finisher.
The finisher. Aside from his other antics that he's been known for, finishing in his little transvestite thing. I mean, it's public.
That's why that's funny. That's why.
I know. That's why the name The Finisher is super funny, because people go, really?
Yeah, the finisher,
Yeah.
Really? Let's
Okay.
Let's remarket yourself.
Right, you got that one, buddy. Yes, you finished all right.
Well, that's what. Did you guys have food?
The food was amazing.
Okay.
The food was Caribbean, catered by. It's in the invite. I'll read it back when we say. The food was great. It was just so good. Just good food. You know what I mean? It's love to have good food, dinner and dancing, and people. And Michelle just would not get off the dance floor.
No,
she was just totally like boom, 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 boom. But it's always good to see her mother, Felicia. Felicia and my nana, my wife's nana, are cousins, and so they.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they are family in their own, somehow through a relative.
Okay.
And she used to come to the house all the time. She used to be over at my wife's mother's house all the time, for years. We kind of grew up concurrently, at the same time, and it's like, oh yeah, these are my friends. Oh, that's Chatty. Oh, blah blah blah. So it was perfect. So that was cool. Spoke to Shawnee for a little while. He's obviously what happens to a guy like him working in a Hot 97, one of the hottest radio stations.
Yes.
You have all the things going on, which is, Ebro, and he sits next to him on the show and all that other stuff. And so many people, like, obviously in their struggles to be in the record business or entertainment. I myself struggled and tried to be a manager and, worked with my groups and stuff. He's one of those guys that will help you any way he can, but you still got to do your work.
You got to do right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're doing most of the lifting.
Right. And so, if the product is hot, it's hot. You know what I mean? And he's one of those guys that I never strained a relationship. I would rather be friends than to say, oh, he couldn't help me do something because I couldn't get myself to that level. I would like to get to that level and then be like, oh, and by the way, that's my boy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I have to be there.
The final kick in the door.
Correct. That's when you're at the door, oh, show me some love. These
Right.
are my people. You know what I'm saying? But you get there on your own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not he brings you up and, does that.
Everybody wants to hook up, man.
Right. So, he's, always one of those guys that has never wavered from friendship.
Right.
He's, we have direct communication. We talk all the time. I see him in the city a lot. You know, at his events, I come support him and stuff like that.
His time has to be like. I mean, his calendar's probably got to be filled like months out.
Yeah, he's sick. I
You
mean,
know, it's like and probably like to the hour.
Yeah, like he's so booked on so many. Like he's on different events and speaking and stuff. And obviously, he had his own show in the morning. He's got his own show on the weekends now on Sundays, I think, or whatever it is. It's good. I'm really proud of him. I mean, really, he stuck to it. He's been there over 20 some odd years. At the radio station. So he's been doing radio from an intern. You know what I mean? And he's one of those guys that just put the work in. And people are like, they want the success of what he has now, but when he tells them, "Hey, man,
I've been here too." Right,
I was getting coffee.
I was getting coffee. I was shuffling papers.
Right,
I was
I was sleeping in the studio, like trying to get my weight up and trying to make sure things could go for me. No one wants to do that part of the exercise. So big up, Shiny Culture. You are a true personification of 109 and Farmers.
109 and Farmers, you're a shining star.
You're a shining star. You are definitely.
Well,
we've put out some really talented people in our neighborhood, and a lot of people that have really prospered. From the LLs to the FUBUs to the so many people have graduated from the Rock alumni. It's always good to see people. Unfortunately, the Rock doesn't love you back.
That
Rock. You can kiss that Rock all you want. It will never kiss you back.
Right.
I have plenty of friends now. Even Storm and his son. He's got Hit Parade music. His kids are constantly doing videos. They're they're that young, 17, 18 kind of ish. They got a nice sound. They got a nice vibe. They're shooting a lot of videos. They shoot a lot of videos on the Rock. And they're called the North Side Story, which is really cool. They flipped the West Side Story, obviously, to North Side Story. The oddly part is that people call North Side Queens, that side of North Side, which is really not North Side.
It's actually Southeast. Actually Southeast, right.
Southeast Queens. But it is north of Linden Boulevard. I don't know if you want to call it, if you want to call that. They look at the conduit and they go, well, the north side is this side. But south side
is... The south side is,
not so much. That's JFK. I mean, real north side would be like Corona. Up in that area.
The Corona.
Jackson Heights.
Right, Jackson Heights and whatnot, right.
Where a lot of guys come from, like Left Rack and all those guys. That's real north side. I mean, if you want to really holler, north side. But other than that, it was really fun. I think the weather kind of made people scared. It was cold. It was
really cold,
19 degrees, and it was far. People like Lindenhurst.
Lindenhurst, yeah.
Which I've never been in that area. I literally drove through that town and was like, okay, this is like a tin town.
This is like, you're right. I think you're right scratching. I think after Lindenhurst, you're in Suffolk County, I think.
Yes, I believe so, because it was 109. We got to say 109.
Right. I think you're in Suffolk County in Lindenhurst.
I think we are in. Yeah. I think that is Suffolk County. You could be right. So it was fun. It was really fun. And then a friend of mine said, oh, those are my friends. They own that place. I was like, good luck. It's too fucking far. I'm not throwing any parties there. She was like, y'all should have a party there, level 1. I was like, nope.
Nope, not this far.
We want to go somewhere where we could get home safe.
That's right.
Because we do like to explore some libation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't have too far of a ride if you're gonna do the libation. Although it is right off the train station, though, right?
Yes, so
it's not too far off the train station.
So funny thing you say that, because as soon as I looked up, I saw the tracks, and oddly enough, I saw a gang of kids like pub crawling, like when we came out the parking lot, because I don't know the area, and I just threw the GPS on, and I saw a bunch of kids like piled up at the backs of all of these pubs. I guess because they smoke. I'm assuming that's what I saw. But they had about 4 or 5 bars in a row, and they were all packed in the backyards, like outside. And I guess people were throwing it in the air,
right,
for whatever reason. But they were kids. They were like college kids home from school. And
all right.
I guess, I'm assuming. But I was like, wow, this is like Children of the Corn here. Who's your leader? This is Malachi.
Who's your leader?
Who is your leader? So how was your week? What happened with you? What did you do?
My week was good, but Thanksgiving was nice. Thanksgiving with the family. I tell you what, man. I'm at a point now, and I'm sure I'll get through this.
Okay.
So I'll change this. But if you put on a list of things that I am offered to do, if one of those things on the list is staying home and staring at my son, I'm gonna stay at home and stare at my son.
Great thing to do.
It's like hard to like get away from it.
Huh.
It really is becoming like a difficult thing to just like get away and not, because he's always like doing something. He's growing. He's always doing something new. Always making these new sounds and always it's just it's right now it's like the biggest thrill of my life.
Yeah, so that must be pretty thrilling. I mean, that having some new experience and new expressions.
Exactly.
He's probably making faces. What was that?
Doing all the stuff. Now he's getting. I mean, we can get him to smile now and laugh and giggle. So you're
Fun.
trying to work. So, I can get him to smile. Oh no, you can't get him to smile. I can get him to smile. Oh, you like looking at mommy. Oh no, you like looking at daddy. That type of thing. And it's just really fun when I'm home when I'm at work and I'm in these meetings. I'm like.
Yeah, you guys.
I really don't care about 90% of what the fuck you guys are talking about. I really don't care. And I'll go on my phone and I'll look at pictures, and I'm like, yeah. What? Oh yes. We need to download the MPLS. Yes.
Download the flux capacitor with 18 gigawatts.
Yeah. No, I had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was just.
What'd you do at home? You did.
Wife's mom's.
Wife's mom. Okay.
Wife's mom's. Son came over.
Okay.
Older son came over, which is beautiful. Just
chill out.
Sometimes you forget how fortunate you are.
Yes.
And you have to. I think that's what the crux of Thanksgiving should be. Is like realize how fortunate you are. If only there was
a holiday to commemorate.
I know, right?
How thankful you are for things.
And so every once in a while you catch like. People start complaining about, this wasn't ready and blah, 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 blah. And sometimes you gotta say, hey,
right,
it can't be bad. It can't be all bad.
Unless you burn the turkey.
Right.
Like you burn the turkey, you burn the main course. That's the only thing that could screw up a Thanksgiving.
That put a frown on the face, but you know what?
I mean, it'll be a big joke and everybody get over it, and then you order something or try to find a place for something.
We had deep dish mac. My wife made mac and cheese for the first time.
Really?
Yes.
How was that?
It was delicious.
Okay.
It was delicious. It was funny. She she asked me. She said, "Is there anything particular you want for Thanksgiving?" And I said, "Look, I ask for deep dish mac and cheese every year.
Okay.
And I never see it.
What do you mean deep dish? Why
it's just in a deeper thing. It's just in it's not in a pot. It's just in a deep, and you want to like put your spoon and you want to hear that.
Okay, pretty good. A Galapagos.
Right.
That was pretty good.
And she made it, and it was absolutely
more than one cheese.
Delicious. She used
a combination.
She used a combination of cheeses. Okay. Not Tracy Morgan's 9 cheeses. Go make that lasagna with those 9 different cheeses. Nothing like that. But I think 3 cheeses, like a sharp cheddar. She did the crust on the top with breadcrumbs and Parmesan, and some paprika on the top, and there was a couple other cheeses that she put in. But I know sharp cheddar was one of them. I think Asiago was another one, and there was another like milder cheese.
Well, Asiago's a Swiss. Was in there. That's wonderful. I saw so many posts about mac. For some reason, this year turned to be a mac and cheese year. For whatever reason, again, according to social media, this is not according to the world, this is just social media. According to social media, I've seen more posts about mac and cheese this year than I've ever seen in entire holidays. I saw like memes like, hey, whoever's making the mac and cheese, we need your credit report.
I saw that. Yes, references. Right, I saw that.
I saw
Moni put that up. Moni put that up.
Yeah, but I saw so many of those mac and cheese references. Even Damon John was on, and he was like, "Guys, I make a fucking serious mac and cheese, but I cheated. I went to the store and bought one for this party. He was on his feed or whatever." But I can't believe it's so much frenzy about mac and cheese this year. More than I've ever heard before. And you just caramelized it by saying that's what you wanted. Like you wanted mac and cheese.
That's what I want. To me, that's what makes it Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving on the plate. Yes, there's turkey. Yes, there's stuffing. Yes, there's all these other delicious things. But it's Thanksgiving when I see a tray of deep dish mac and cheese. then this is a special occasion.
Oh wow,
this is a special occasion. And she made it with gemelli pasta.
What?
which is that it's like just think of a macaroni.
Yeah.
Think of macaroni,
Split.
but straight and it's twisted.
Oh.
And it has a twisty little thing to
Oh,
it. So
okay.
she kind of like put like an
Macaron.
Italian
Yeah,
flair
macaron.
on mac and cheese.
Nice.
With the choice of pasta, but it was still delicious. And I said, the good thing is this was delicious. The bad thing is, you got to make this again.
You got to make it again.
You gotta do it
and
again.
I hope you remember what you did.
And exactly. And I hope, and and then you get to, ooh, I can make it better if I do this, or maybe it could be more creamy if I do this. And so you start like doing the little tweaks. And then 30 years from now, when Miles grows up and is like, no, this is my mom's mac and cheese recipe. I hope I don't mess it up.
Well, that's kind of what I was. I posted that thing about the Popeye's Cajun chicken. And all I said was, guys, this is not Thanksgiving. And everyone was like, fuck you. That Popeye's turkey is the bomb. It's moist, it's juicy, it's this and that. And I said, guys, I did not say it wasn't good. I'm just saying it wasn't Thanksgiving.
Right.
Like I said, it should be a time where you like you just said, you hand down a recipe. You show your kids how to cook greens.
Right.
You sit and you kind of go through the whole day. Yes, the guys often do the football stuff and watch TV while the women prepare. I'm not saying that this is a male and female thing, but that's just how it's been traditionally. So if you don't have a tradition, you should think about starting one.
Right.
You should think about, if you're starting a family, you should start some sort of tradition that kind of has something to look forward to. You know what I mean? And like I called Shakoya and Jabbar and Nicole, and I'm like, guys, Thanksgiving to me was coming to grandma's. We used to like pack up in the car, go see Dad picks us up, go see Grandma,
sit in
that hot house. In the projects, shout out to Wagner Projects, 2nd Avenue, 125th. Hot as heck. Like all the windows are wide open. That project heat just
drives. Exactly. You had to think that like the idea behind it was, look, move out.
Get the fuck out of here.
Look out.
Yeah, we're gonna steam your ass out. I mean, damn, it was a sauna in that place, but then that good turkey, you smell it. And Grandma will hello, laugh and chuckle, and so these are things that became traditional. You know what I mean? Watching March of the Wooden Soldiers.
Oh man.
All the little things that come along with, and then of course as we graduated and grew up, there was always these football games. You know what I mean? That were fantastic. Events of gladiatorship. So, those things are like the tradition, but I'm explaining to people like the Popeye's Cajun chicken is not Thanksgiving.
Right.
You've just skipped straight to the itis and the, ooh, so good. Now what? Let's go to sleep. Let's take a nap. Or, you just bypassed, maybe the best time of bonding in a kitchen,
It's an effort thing. And you're right. It's a bonding thing because those things take time.
Yes.
And hopefully you do it in groups. There's a group of people doing these things.
Yeah.
And
I got
it's a bonding thing.
Mac. I got
exactly.
Let me clean the greens. Let me, do, and all of that stuff is so lost in tradition. Like most families, we're so busy.
Yeah.
We don't have the time to even do this, so we want the quick. You bring your dish, you bring mine, we bring yours. We all put it together, and it just becomes a day where it's like, okay, say one prayer, and I'm like, that's like Sunday dinner. Like that's like a Sunday dinner. Like that's every, So and we don't have that here. I mean, our tradition has always been, for the last 10 or 12 years, they go and serve at a shelter.
Right.
Which has been great.
Which is beautiful.
Which is beautiful. It's in its own. It's become a tradition, and so the kids only know it. That's their only way. They literally know that that's Thanksgiving for them. And by the time they get home, put something together. I, on the other hand, usually pull out the Christmas decorations and start, pulling shit out. Because I don't go to the shelter, and I try to clean up. But this year I straightening up the living room. I was clean. We still have some stuff moving around. So I took care of all of that. I dumped the clothes.
You got an empty house.
Yes, I had.
You got an empty house.
Empty. I did the fucking risky business slide.
They do the thing. You're walking around in your drawers. Probably
Yeah, I was having a little fun. And sorting through my plugs, which is my own.
Your plug legend, man. I'm telling you, that's we get that. Look, we get that cartoon back up. That's a character. The character, he's got a plug for everything.
Yeah, Carlton Marshall calling you out, Mr. Boulevard. Boulevard. We need the Boulevard back. So much content out now that it's like it comes so fast. Like the rate of how he put the Boulevard out wasn't enough. I don't think it was just fast enough. I mean,
well, if you're gonna do, I mean, animation takes a long time.
Yeah.
So you would, I mean, you couldn't do it by. I would challenge him if he was gonna do it by himself, because that's just a tremendous amount of work to do it by yourself. You need teams. You need a group of people.
Sure.
Doing, and almost like you probably have to schedule this thing. I mean, something's got to be done every day. For like a 24-hour.
Oh no,
a 24-hour period.
Look, I remember I had them. Maybe it's going on maybe 5 or 6 years. Where I had them all come to my office in the city. Mm-hmm. You know, I said, look, come after hours because the place is closed. We can use the conference room. No one's here, and we had a big meeting, and we had a couple of heavy hits. We had Jack Thriller. I don't know if you know who that is. You know who Jack Thriller is? He hosts This Is 50. He's got the fucking glass eye with a star in it, like a. You've seen him.
I'm sure I've seen him.
He's a big web guy, kind of content guy. Jack Thriller. He was there at the reading. We had what's this other guy? DV alias Christ, which is a rapper, which has that. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. He has an ill voice. He has an ill rapper voice.
Okay.
90s rapper that kind of like with Smooth the Hustler, Trigger the Gambler, Lord of Mercy, and this guy here, DV alias Christ. Mm-hmm. A couple of guys that were there that read. I have photos of it, and I'm like, damn, I was looking back like, wow, this thing was going to really go somewhere.
Yeah, you were moving.
And a lot of these people went off to be, talents in their own right. So, it seems like the ocean's coming back.
Yeah.
It always does that, right? I don't know why. I gotta change this plug.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, man, so that was my Thanksgiving. It didn't do anything fantastic or outrageous. It was just quiet time. It was, you know what? Let me just clean up and dump shit out and, get shit ready for the garbage man on Friday. Friday, I did not go in. I went in early and we had a dumpster. We're moving our office, so we're moving up to
again.
Well, I moved when I joined there.
Right.
Now we're moving upstairs to a bigger office and a little bit more organized. Right now, the way my office is set up is really a contractor's pig pen trailer, like plans all over the place, blueprint. It's sick. So now we're gonna go. Those nachos look really good. Now we're moving upstairs to a nicer office, and so all I had to do was just make sure that the guys who were dumping the stuff in the demo knew what to take and what not to take.
What not to take. Right. This is garbage. This is not.
Right.
Garbage.
I was like I put red stickers on everything, so I was like everything red is go. All these green things here, leave them alone. Green is go. Yes, in normal times, green is go, but not today, you fucker. Green means stay. He said red is stop. Like, so my intentions I thought were clear.
Yeah.
But weren't.
That happens so many times.
So the guy said, red, don't touch it. Red. Like he means stop. Which he's right. But if
you explained it to him.
I know, but that's why I went there. I said, let me go. I said
green goes upstairs.
Right. I said green is going with us. Like meaning going with us. Red is trash, basura. And the guy was just like
confused.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, there's only two options here.
That's right.
Throw it away, leave it, and take it to the new spot. Okay, fuck, man, it's like such a brain, and I was like,
why is all this green shit outside?
Right.
Why is
Yeah, so and then everybody, we have too many people chipping in on. Yeah, how could you? Oh, we should put a glass door here. We should do this.
Well, everybody's got advice after the fact. Everybody's got, nobody wants to be a part of the plan. Everybody wants to be a part of the like when it's all done. Oh, this is what we should have done.
I know.
This is what
Why didn't you say that when we were planning?
Right.
But interestingly enough, I got an urgent email from my boss that says, "Hey, we need to, take care of these clients, and there's some great deals going on. Let's take advantage of all these Black Friday sales, right?" So I'm like, "What?"
Taking to Macy's?
So I'm like, okay. He was like, "Let's just buy a shitload of gift cards, for everybody, for all our clients, and just so we have them for the holiday time that we can give out to the clients. And I was like, all right, that's actually a pretty good idea.
Okay.
If we grab them now, you get discount, whatever it is. But gift cards are gift cards. Money's money. You put $50 on it.
$50 is $50,
you know
right?
What I'm saying? Unless there's a deal where, hey, you put $75, we'll give you $100.
Right. Right.
Okay. And then I'm looking at it and I'm going, this just seems, he would never, this is just so out of the blue. And I only came to do the move. He didn't know because he's out in L.A. And I'm like, I said, you know what? Let me just held my finger on and it was a fucking Gmail, a spoof. Somebody spoofed his email and sent it to me from him, because you can change the name of the person, but the email can be Joe Blixpo, gmail.com. But it wasn't like I was going to do it. It was just like, it was so
out of place.
It was out of place, but it was in the right pocket. Like the person, these Nigerians, I'm sure it was them.
Fucking Nigeria.
I'm sure they at some point I dialed back and I was like, well, how would they know that that's a direct, like he would give me that kind of an order? Like how do, and so, we have this whole big IT and marketing team out in LA and they were like, shut the place down. We're closing. We're compromised. Then the guy from our IT company, and he's like, dude, it's just a random email.
A random email.
This is, the guy probably sent about 5,000 of these.
Exactly.
And some asshole's going to go buy and he was like, click these links here. These are some great gift card ideas.
Oh, okay.
Buy them.
All right. That was part of the email.
Right. So put the credit card in.
I got you now.
Put your credit card in and I'm going to send you the links. These are all great.
I got you.
We'll get them. And I was like, he never... First of all, doesn't even know if he knows how to put a link in a fucking email, let alone tell me to go and do that. So
we get that shit all. I get that shit all the time, and like, hey, I mean, we're gonna get it starting in another month once January hits because tax time is coming around.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get all those ones that, hey, you know what, they're coming after you for your taxes.
Yeah.
You better fill this out. With all this. All this shit.
I can't tell you how many of those IRS calls I get when they call and say they're looking for you, and I said, "Well, come and get me, baby. Yeah. King Kong ain't got shit on me."
It's like, come on, you know where I live?
Yeah. I said, if you know, or you better call and turn yourself in, but you could send in $75 and we'll fix it. The nerve of some people. I mean, scamming is hard. Like that's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job, exactly. You got to do it for that one hit.
Right.
For that one hit, for the however many calls you make during the course of a day, you get one or two hits, and it's usually older people that will respond.
Really?
To that.
You think?
Usually you get a lot of
seniors,
and
lonely people.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, lonely people. Who want to help out a Nigerian. Get his my money's in the thing, but I gotta pay this court fee of.
Unbelievable.
$1,500.
It's really unbelievable how people fall. I mean, I'm baffled. I'm baffled by it. But then again, I consider myself a little smarter. Although I've, been duped in Egypt. I tell you that story.
Well, yeah. But but that's almost understandable because you're in that environment.
Right.
And so.
Well, you're a tourist.
You're a tourist, and you kind of like go through there, and I mean, it's. I don't know.
I remember years ago when we used to, our friend Everton used to steal his dad's van, and we'd go out on night escapades. So we'd all get out in the car and push the van to the street.
Okay, push it down the street.
Push it down the street
before you started,
right? Because if you started in the driveway,
who the fuck got my van? Pow 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 pow.
And this was like a work van, like a plumber's van, like with
it was full of shit.
Full of shit. And driving. And sometimes we would all take different turns. We go to different places. I think only one or two of us had a license. Maybe Everton and B had licenses. And we would take this van and just go about everywhere to Manhattan and I remember there was a time where there was a bunch of like streetwalkers, a bunch of prostitutes so we like, hey, they're like, hey baby, how are you? You guys got room in that van for me? We're gonna party with this and that, woo! And we're like, yeah. We're young, we don't know any better. And some dude pulls up, and he was like, "You guys want to buy a watch?" And we was like, "No, we don't want no watches." He said, "I guess you want a watch because you don't know what fucking time it is." And that motherfucker pulled his jacket open and had a Uzi in the inside of his jacket and was like, "You leave these fucking women alone and let them work." We were like, "Oh shit," and we were like jumping, running lights, and going crazy.
Those were the good old days.
Oh man, they were great days. And then we ran across, we were going uptown by Yankee Stadium and all that other stuff, and it was like, yo, you guys want? We got new camcorders, blah blah blah, and the old heat seal wrap. That was the biggest fucking scam of all time. Heat shrink wrap. Oh, it must be complete.
It must be completely new. Yeah, right, exactly.
Never opened.
Right.
And look at it, still got the vacuum pad. These fucking crackheads figured out how to fucking take saran wrap and a hairdryer and fucking make it shrink wrap.
Right.
And we was like, yo, we should get it. $20, we should get it, man. It was like, dude, no, a box of rocks in that motherfucker.
Well, the dudes that still do it now, that hustle in Times Square, selling their blank CDs. And it's and they still shrink wrap it with like their picture on it and just,
wait, are they blank? What do you mean they're blank?
No, they're blank. They'll sell you a CD. They're still selling CDs.
Yeah, but a lot of them have shit on it.
Of their music.
A lot of them are really rappers.
A lot of them are blank.
Come on,
yes, man. A lot of them are blank.
You'd have to buy one to know.
That's the big. Yes, I have. Yes. Yes. Yes, of course.
All right,
yes.
We've all been taken.
I've all been, look, you're not a man unless you've been taken for a ride, got your ass whipped, and shit yourself.
Yeah.
Then you can.
That's kind of.
You've kind of like
you checked all the boxes.
Those are the boxes. Okay, you can graduate now.
Yeah.
Now you could say you've had your share of experience.
This is true. Yeah, we've had. I mean, I can remember the good old days of Times Square, the arcades. When that was a thing, can you imagine?
I know, going to an arcade.
We used to go Super Amusement. Remember
the one out in Flushing?
Yes,
I used to love that one behind the Arcade Key.
Yeah,
used to love that place.
Still there.
The amusement park is still there. The
Super Amusement is still there.
Super Amusement is still there.
Yes, I drove past it on the on the Parkway, College Point, coming from that way. And I looked down and I said, "Holy shit!" It says Super Amusement still there. I didn't go in.
There was a time when me and my man Nut would go there just about every weekend.
The place was amazing.
The place was amazing. It was packed, and then they had this, and then they started, and you saw the place changing because they started opening up like. So now there were chain restaurants over there, and there were chain fast food places over there, and stuff like that. So you knew the area was changing.
Yeah, we went to Master Grill over there, which is another place. There was one of those churrascaria, all you can eat type of deals. Turn the top over.
Those places.
But go ahead.
No, we would go there every week. We would go there every weekend, and there was one weekend where we had like pretty much the scariest night of our life because we went there, and it's about like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. We're leaving, walking down the hill to get to the bus, and in a intersection over, we see a flaming car, skirt out and crash.
Oh shit!
Okay, we run down that street.
Yeah,
and there's not a damn thing there. There's no car.
Wait,
nothing.
It passed you. It's gone.
No, it went, and we're in this intersection, and on the next intersection we see
Northern Boulevard.
Crossing. That way, no. Before you come, before you come down.
Oh,
before you come down, you're still in the back street, up on the hills. So we see a car swerve. It's on fire, and it hits, something. We hear a crash. We run down and it's just the next intersection.
Right.
We run down to the next intersection. We don't see shit. We don't see nothing down the way.
You guys imagine this?
And we clicked the eye, quite possible, but I don't think both of us can't imagine the same goddamn thing.
Can't have the same drink.
And I wasn't, nut smoked, but I wasn't a smoker. I was drinking. So we didn't, fucking no mushrooms or nothing like that. So,
wow.
And we just we looked and we just quickly turned around.
What the fuck?
And didn't say shit. We
were
just like, I think we just, when we didn't say until we got on the bus. We said, I think we saw some weird shit.
Yeah, apparently.
Saw some wicked shit.
But that bus ride was always good. The Q44 could take you from Jamaica Avenue all the way up. It'd take you all the way to the Bronx, actually.
It could, yes.
And I remember that bus used to have a dip, like you go to the hills. And
it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, it was like a roller coaster.
I remember we were on the back. We would always go to the Chinese spot before we got on there. And when we were heading back. And a couple times, Nut got lost all his food. Like, boom! Just...
Oh, fucking Peanut. How's he doing? You speak to him lately?
He's doing good, man. I speak to him every week, man. He's doing as good as he's...
A little recovery?
He's doing as good as can be, you know. He's in
good to hear.
You know, I wouldn't say it's recovery, but he's in a new place in his life.
Okay.
You know, new place in life, a new reality for his life. Yeah. So, but he's doing
maintaining
well.
Though.
He's maintaining. Yes, well, he's maintaining. He's up in Albany.
Yep.
It's getting cold as shit over there. I imagine. I told him I said I was gonna come see him in the fall, but if I don't see him soon, it ain't gonna be like I'm not doing this in January because it's freezing.
Not fun.
And it's not fun.
It's not fun. This is not a fun place to be just to see you. You're a nice guy. But
so I love you, but I gotta get home.
Yeah, we gotta get home.
I'd be trapped in no damn snowstorms in Albany.
So Thanksgiving is done and over. I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
This month is pretty much over. We got a couple more days left before December, and the holiday frenzy is upon everyone. And it seems to be not without dismay or discord or disarray. Is people fucking going nuts and shooting people in the malls. Shooting guns in malls and fucking the savagery of our people. Unfortunately, when they showed a bunch of girls brawling, then they showed some guy in Newark, Jersey, shot a guy and shot him in the wrist or whatever. And someone again through social media, there's people white people do these crazy crimes, like they do horrific stuff, and we just do dumb shit. Like,
do dumb shit.
$12 crimes, like we do, like $8. Yo man, you owe me money, man. You owe me money. Or a girl, like we fight over like women and pride,
sneakers, and
we fight over goofy shit.
Scratch my Timbs,
right?
And,
And so I and my wife and I talked about this, that it gets misdiagnosed the same way because it is a mental health issue. It's mentally disturbing for you to fight over $12. Like,
it's mentally disturbing for you to do it, or you're mentally disturbed.
You have to be
for engaging in that.
Yes, you have to be. Right. You want to lay it all on the line for $12?
Right.
Like, this is it. Like, I'm ready to go to jail, baby. Like. You owe me that $12.
For $12 for a goddamn supersized freaking meal,
McNuggets or some shit. Like, it's always something like that. It's always over like fucking nuggets or really dumb shit, and it's super disappointing. When you watch this stuff and it's like, gosh, please turn it off. Like,
it's just it is, because you look at it and you go, oh, my people.
Huh? Yeah, my people.
My people.
Oh, my people.
My God. Fighting over TVs. I haven't heard any horrific. I'm sure they exist, but I haven't heard of any horrific Black Friday tragedies. I'm sure somebody got trampled because this TV was on sale.
I saw
this
did you
PS4
see
was they only got 200 left, so you better go get one. Because your life ain't gonna be the same if you don't have this
game
thing.
This game. I saw one where the guy had a flat screen on a scooter. Did you see this video? And he was riding bitch. He was on the back. Dude, I'm gonna pull this up and I'm gonna put this in the post. Like, you gotta see this thing. I mean, this guy was on the fucking back of a scooter. He straddled this flat screen wide this way, and he's holding onto the back and the top of the box.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy is in front, driving him, sitting all the way up in the front, and they're going down the street with the fucking TV. 60 and a Sony, like some big shit too, like some Sony 80, 90, and some super. It was impossible. I'm like, wait, this is things ain't that bad.
It can't be that bad. It can't be like this. Can't like how over products.
Yeah, products. We're just addicted.
We're addicted, and we fall for it. We fall for the okie doke. Did you see where there's this article I read in Bloomberg News in which China, they've actually started doing something like this. China is starting to implement something where everything you do is being recorded to the point where you're getting points.
Yes.
Certain amount of points creates a certain amount of status.
Yeah, well, it's like Black Mirror, yeah.
So if you have a certain amount of points, then, when you go get a loan, your interest will be this because you're a decent human being. If you don't have points or a certain amount of demerits, basically it's rating you as a person.
It's an episode of Black Mirror.
To how you now participate in life. And this is like
it's real.
And apparently the Chinese actually gonna do this.
Yeah, they've
like
done...
they're checking your social media shit, they're checking into everything, and if you know what, you're a jerk, and then you all of a sudden go in and you want to get a loan for a car, well, your interest rate is sky high.
Yeah. Well, wasn't there a lady that got fired or something from? She posted something. Stay off my page, bitch. I'm something. She worked for NASA. It was a NASA job.
Okay.
And she was an African American lady. She somehow passed the test and got this job at a NASA on her Facebook. She said something super erroneous, like you dumb motherfuckers. I'm gonna be working at NASA on Monday. I got the job. I'm spying on all you motherfuckers. Some dumb shit she said. And I think her aunt chimed in, was like, you shouldn't be saying this.
You should
with
chill.
Your job. You should chill. She's like, fuck these bitches. I'm at NASA, but NASA bitches. And
nope.
The guy, the director of her division, who was actually on the board that hired her, says, hey, you should tone it down a little bit. These posts, you should just keep it clean,
So she was given. So basically, she was given a flag.
She was given a
flag.
He gave her an out.
Hey,
he gave her an out.
Like, hey, let's chill
out here. And she said the same things. If you don't like it, unfriend me. Stay off my page, bitches. Blah blah blah. She showed up Monday and was like, sorry, we have no space here for a person. You've done some, posts you didn't agree with.
Got fired from a job you didn't have.
You didn't get yet. You didn't fucking get yet. Just because you wanted to post some dumb, goofy shit.
Oh, how many days? How long you worked at NASA? 0 days.
Yeah. Was hired. Never worked.
0 days.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Oh my God.
But it's a shame, when people just take things like that for granted. I mean, you're right. Your social profile is, it was during the recruiting part with Ron, going to schools and stuff. We heard from every college coach that says, we're watching your page,
right?
Because this is what this is the person you're coming to our school. We're thinking about giving you, $280,000 worth of tuition,
right? You represent us,
right? We want to make sure you're not fucking at the club, throwing it up, smoking, and so everybody, they was all like, kill your. In fact, most of them just deleted their page, and they stuck to the snaps and the, and the Instagrammies and all that stuff, the stuff that you could be quickly erased and here today, gone tomorrow. But it was a time where it was well, again, only because I was involved with it. It probably is now. It probably still is to this day.
I'm sure it is. And people who
probably now more than ever, actually.
Probably now more than ever. And people try to claim that that's a certain thing of privacy, and they forget that this is a public platform.
Yeah.
This is anybody can do this. This is anybody's platform, and anybody can view
Facebook's
it. So
platform.
It's Facebook.
It's theirs. It's not. I don't think it's public.
Public as in it's public access to everybody. It's not. There is no restricted access.
I beg the different. I mean, again, we'll go different.
In other words,
different route.
In other words, anybody can open up a Facebook
page.
Yes,
it is not. Yeah, you don't need any.
There's no restriction. Right. There's no club to join. There's no. There's
that
no.
Is the club. That
there's no private. Right. There's no private membership. There's no fee involved in anything like that.
Yeah.
Facebook is an open forum for everybody. It's like it's almost like having a conversation out in the middle of the street.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you decide to, overhear it, or at a bar,
right,
so to speak, and I've done it. I did twice this week at fucking Tracks. Yeah, speaking of Tracks, I know you don't like that bar because it's expensive.
What, Tracks?
For no reason, yeah.
It seems expensive for no reason. Yeah. I mean, it's decent.
Yeah, it's decent. It's good for the train. Yeah,
it's a good bar. I wish you're there at the train.
I wish there was another bar in there.
Have you had the oysters?
Yes.
The oysters are supposed to be pretty good.
I eat the oysters. That's all I go there for.
Okay. The oysters supposed to be pretty good.
I'll see Trish. I'll be like, Trish, it's that time. She'll be like, wow, okay, 2 in a row. Wow. No, I really like the oysters. But again, it's expensive for no reason.
Yeah.
It's super...
There's a serious oyster bar in Grand Central.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Oh, I don't know the name.
I've been to quite a few. I mean, there's quite a few. I mean, I was at Frankie's and Johnny's, so I get sent for by some
as
they call it. Yeah, a little Italian competition in my business and on the construction side. So they call me in and they're like, "Hey, you need to come have lunch with the boss," And I'm like, "I don't work for you guys." Well, just let's have a sit down. Let's just talk. About it. So I go there and I'm fucking. I don't know what to expect. And the guy that bring me, I know he wouldn't put me in harm's way. You know what I mean? But obviously, you draw some attention on people when you're starting to, make some changes in the game.
Right.
And they're like, "Yo, how'd you, come up so quick? Like, how'd you brought these jobs? And I'm like, quick for you." Because you're just looking now. It's my whole career. Like I've been doing hospitality and hotels for 24 years. So it's not new to me. I'm just at a different place in a different company and helping them grow their business. And when I grow them to the point where they can grow no more, I'll go off and do it for somebody else.
Right.
So they was like, "When can you come over?
No.
When can you come? When can you come?" And I'm like, "Guys, I'm not for sale. Like, hey, come on, let me get some oysters here." That's what made me think. Eat more oysters. Come on.
Oysters.
Come on, have some oysters and let's get a steak. Let's chop a steak. Yeah. Tommy, get us a steak here. Big one, big. They just talk to the waiters like, fuck the menu. Like, give me big steak.
Whatever you want.
Give them a big steak. Yeah. So Frankie and Johnny's, they got some pretty good oysters. Yeah, they're pretty good. What else have I had some great oysters? Liberty on 35th. Between 5th and 6th, it's called Liberty. Actually, me and Shakoya had lunch there one time. It's a cute little spot, and they got dollar oysters in there.
Okay.
So that one that's a nice spot. And where was the other place? Oh, it's closed now. Rothman's. Remember Rothman's Steakhouse?
Yes.
That was a nice one. They closed that one. That was a good one because they used to give you the tier, the big tier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was pretty good. So, yeah. Definitely good eats.
Apparently, New York City was built on oysters.
Really?
Yes. The history of New York is mapped with oysters. First of all, there's some streets in Brooklyn, by the pier.
Yes.
Which the streets are actually made of oyster shells.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, I gotta see this.
The streets are actually made of oyster shells. They've paved over them, but the streets were actually made of oyster shells. Huh. And they say that as New York was being settled and stuff, they said one of the things that would happen was, people would go out and look for work and stuff like that, but they would come back to these areas by the shore, and oysters were so abundant, you can dig in, grab yourself a handful of oysters, eat them. And then, you were fed. You were fed for that day,
right?
And so you didn't have to worry about it. And then, the next day you go out and look for more work and stuff like that. So it actually
and repeat the process.
Yeah, and repeat the process until you get yourself a decent job and stuff like that. But how oysters were just a part of a big part of the tri-state area.
Oh, that's amazing. That's an interesting story. We're working on a project down in Brooklyn, and it's kind of like right off the water, and it has That's the other one. John Dory. That's the one.
John Dory.
It's a Nomad. It's on Broadway.
Okay.
It's actually pretty good. But there's all these old photographs of like when the big Spanish boats used to come in, the Italian boats used to come in right into Brooklyn, and I haven't seen that show Brooklyn. Have you seen that the movie?
The movie Brooklyn?
Yeah.
No.
There's a movie Brooklyn, and it represents that time, that period of Brooklyn when it was Navy Yard time.
Okay.
You know, that
Navy Yard,
century, whatever
mob
it
patrol the
was.
pier and shit like that.
Yeah, before the mob, but I mean, but with the docks
when it was settled.
Yeah, the docks were all controlled by all the fucking Irishmen, and you know, they were all the cops. They were the Irish guys were all cops, and but it just there's a point in time of, you know, where that whole area was just totally different. I mean, you know, when you look at like Gangs of New York,
right,
which is a great movie.
Yes, it is a great movie.
Fucking Bill the Butcher, man. Fucking that guy was. I was scared of him in there. He's him. I was scared of him in that one, and I'm scared of that fucking straight hair guy in fucking No Country for Old Men.
Oh,
that fucking
that sociopath.
That guy is scary, man. That guy is scary.
Call it.
What's his name?
Call it.
Call it.
Call what he would say. He would flip the coin and he would just say, "Call it."
Call it. Yeah.
What am I calling? What's at risk? Everything.
That guy was just super scary, man. I didn't like him. I did not like him. So yeah, you know, listen. Sports world is what are we? Hockey is playoffs.
A hockey playoff? No, hockey just started. Hockey and basketball.
Hockey and basketball, same time.
They run about the same.
Yes, they do because they flip the floor. I forgot. Yeah.
Hockey and basketball run about the same. Baseball's over.
Baseball's over. What else do we got? Oh, the Tiger and Mickelson match. I don't follow it either.
I don't get it.
I don't follow it either, but I did like the build up to it. I like the marketing to it. Yes, I did.
Well, it's definitely new. It's definitely a new frontier.
Right, because you've never seen that.
They're flowing into. I just don't get the consumer of the what's the word I'm looking for? Like how you can watch golf.
Hey, he's gonna go to the putt.
Yeah, I just don't like how you can do that for like 3.5 hours.
It's painstaking.
And watch it. And people do that all the time. And people, well, did you see Walden? And then they can. And when you I listen to sports talk shows, and they talk about, when he was on the 6th hole and when he was doing that. I'm like, you remember that?
Right.
That much? Like you've watched that intently?
There we go. Tiger has a wedgie. He's gonna pull it out right now, and then.
And Phil Mickelson won $9 million.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious as to what the buy rate was on that. Like how much money did they make on pay-per-view? For that thing, because it was like,
was it on TV? It was
on pay-per-view.
Oh, well,
it was the pay-per-view.
There you go.
And I think it was like $20 or something like that, or
there you
like
go.
$20. But how much money did they make off of that? I'm curious.
The network, and listen, the networks would have to make a shitload of money or else they wouldn't do it, right?
Right.
They wouldn't. Why would you do it? Why would you go into this?
Well, sponsors are giving you a lot of money for it too, but it's still, it's, I'm curious as to how much money they would make off of it. Like how much, like you went into your own pocket to see this event,
right?
And it's definitely new. I mean, you give them credit for doing something new.
Yeah. No, I liked how they matched it up all the way, waited to Mickelson versus Phil, and then the week prior to it, they showed like boxing. They did it like boxing. They said, oh, I remember, me and Tiger went up against each other in '87, and then we did this, and then and I got under his skin. I went and took all his guys to dinner and his caddy. They had like little backstories that you don't really hear. So it kind of made it a little interesting. And I think if they did it the way they were intending to do it, you're going to get more people to say, okay, this is...
Treat it like an MMA fight.
Yeah, like, right. Yeah. Just buy into it. I mean, you're just buying into it being a real rivalry.
Buying into the show. Buying into the...
I guess that's right. Yeah. Put the Vince McMahon on it. That's what they did.
Yeah.
They really put the Vince McMahon on it because they made him like that. They were like, I'll fucking kill this guy, you know what I'm saying? What, do you want to go? You want to go now? You want to putt?
I'm waiting for okay, so let's do another one next time, and let's say, guy A versus guy B, and all of a sudden,
Rory McIlroy.
And all of a sudden, 3 days before guy B can't do it anymore, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to pull out. But in my place is going to be Tiger Woods. You know, that type of shit.
Yeah.
Just like you said, put the Vince McMahon on it.
Yeah,
you know,
I think that's what they did. They
you know, guys getting ready to putt, and all of a sudden you hear theme music. You
well, you know, when you like watching it, you know, Tiger will tell like, oh, and then I was on the 18th hole, and I was grinding my knees, and I felt the the bone was like crash. Like he made it seem like, and I was like, ooh, that must hurt. And I'm like, dude, you fucking sitting there swinging a fucking club. I mean, it's not, and then I throw my arm out, and no one knew I had a broken tibia with a fractured 3/4 flux capacitor, and I'm like, is it that? Is it like that? Is it
apparently you can jack yourself up golfing. I mean, people have jacked up their back
hips,
and their
their
knees
back.
and so it's it looks like just you hitting the ball. That's all this looks like. You just hitting the ball somewhere, but there's a lot more to it than that.
100%. I mean, I'm a shits and giggle golfer myself. I mean, I go out for only, if it's fun, like we go to an event and then, I like to ride the fucking golf carts. I mean, for me, that's more fun of it.
It's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a golfer per se. I've only golfed twice in my life, but it's a fun thing to do, and I can see how that is a great thing to do. You get a bunch of friends together and you go out and golf, and then you're having some beers and
if it's drinks involved, I like it. Yeah,
and stuff, and but to sit there and watch it,
he's gonna go for the 9-iron, and he's gonna right. I gotta pee. Anybody else gotta pee?
I don't get it. But then again, I'm not a fan of golf. So
I guess Ernie's a big fan. Ernie's a big golfer. Him and his wife. Him and Felinda. They anywhere they go. The
sock man.
Yeah, sock man. He'll pull out fucking. He'll be like, "There's a course around here."
You got clubs ready?
Clubs in his car, ready to go. He was like, I know there's a course around here. We'll be right back. Like when we had the beach party that week, he went to a course like right up in Robert Moses, somewhere around there in the state. He was like, there's a course right around the block. Oh, we'll be back. It's great.
It seems like something that's if you can do it, it seems like it would be fun to do.
Yeah.
But getting to do it is takes a lot of time.
It does.
Because number one, it's expensive.
Yeah.
If you want to get yourself a set of clubs, clubs aren't cheap.
Yeah.
If you want to go to a nice courses cost money.
Yep.
Even the public ones can get a little pricey.
Pricey, yeah.
So it's not an inexpensive thing to do.
Hobby,
and then there's a skill level to it. You have to do it a certain amount of times before you get decent at it.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, you don't want to get out there and do it wrong, right? You don't want to be the guy that this fucking guy.
This guy.
This guy. Yeah, he doesn't know how to fucking.
We're over here.
It's like, what? We're on the wrong fucking side of the fence here, but that's always, speaking of competition, and I saw we went to see Creed pre-Thanksgiving night.
Creed 2.
Okay. Did
you like it?
I did.
Okay.
I did like it.
I finally saw Creed.
You saw the first one?
Yes.
Wow.
I finally saw it.
So this one was. It was so predictable. It was like everyone kind of knew, he was going to fight his son. You knew it was going to be this challenge, but they had some surprises in there, which I'm not going to say. No spoilers. There were some surprises in there that stemmed from the first one, if you remember the first one, with him, his girlfriend, and the whole, going through. The training and all that stuff. Now, I remember, in Rocky IV, which is when he fought Drago, when Sylvester Stallone, I like the face-off between Dolph Lundgren.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he was present, the two of them, the two Expendables.
Right, right.
The two Expendables.
What did I give? I'd love to hear that discussion.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm doing this Creed movie.
Yeah.
And it's going to have Apollo's son. You should do me. Apparently, Sly Stallone is like a man's man. Like apparently, everything I hear about him, like when you hear guys talk about Sly was on the set.
Really?
Everybody's like, yo, there are no men here. There's Sly Stallone, and there's a bunch of other people who say that they're men.
Meat sacks.
Right.
Right. You ain't no fucking man.
Apparently, right.
You guys fucking put it in, do it, just stick it. No, but he plays the role very well. The hair plugs is getting annoying, and the skin and all the other stuff. It's like, man, come on, man. Like
Still got the hat.
Yeah, he still had the Bailey on, it was actually a pretty good. It was a decent movie. It had it had the emotional. I think it went too fast for me. Like it really went fast. It went from like, okay, fight him, do that, lose one, do that, fall down, pick up, bing, and then you're at the main event.
It's probably well, when you look at what Rocky 3 and 4, you look at with Clubber Lang and Dolph Lang, they're both just like that. I mean, it's just, I don't want to say it's a money grab, but I mean,
it's a franchise.
You probably had a franchise, and you got your franchise, and you probably wrote it in his sleep. You didn't need much to write. You could have freestyled that whole thing. And the kid fucking that, and he probably got his check before you even. Say, hey, I'm doing Creed 2.
Right.
There you go.
Bridget Nielsen was in it.
Oh, was she really?
Yes, she was in as well. Yeah. Oh, what a train wreck she is. I mean,
and she's still in rehab. Or?
The funny thing is that because, and I will say this part of it in the movie, the whole thing was, he's telling Stallone, Dolph Lundgren's like, you beat me, and I lost everything, my wife, my country, everything, and everyone's like, yeah, she left you for Flavor Flav. Like, damn, how fucked up do you gotta be to lose your wife to Flavor Flav?
Oh, my God.
That's what's happening now? You lose your wife to Flavor Flav.
Hey, Flav's talented, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Flav's talented. I remember I was watching, I was flipping channels. This is when, everybody started getting on the reality TV thing.
Yeah.
And I remember I'm flipping channels, and I see Flavor Flav in his boxer shorts talking to Bridget Nielsen, saying he wants to have a baby.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I turned it off, and I said, I can't get with this reality TV shit.
I
can't do this.
Oh, it's horrible.
I can't.
It's god awful horrible.
It's like, and he had that Viking thing on.
Yeah,
it's like the fuck is. And he's tremendously a talented dude. Like he's a concert pianist. He can play. He can play concert level piano. He can play like a dozen instruments and stuff. And so it's funny how like sometimes like I don't want to say if we relegate them to that or they allow themselves to be relegated to this like narrow thing that they're known for, and that's how they're going to make their money. But it's just it's like I can't. How am I supposed to take this seriously? Like,
I mean, I was kind of like excessive with the clock. Like the clock was a lot.
Yeah,
a big clock. That was a lot. Now to have the career he's had with all the I can't with a straight face say that it was pure entertainment. Like it was entertainment. Like that was just smut TV. Like at an all-time level. Like these people, I want to know, did they really like did they like him or did they just like the show? I mean, come on.
Right.
That's what kind, every one of those shows they pulled the wool over everyone's eyes and people just go, I could see that happening. Like, no, I can't see that happening. That's not a thing. You bring this burnt roach in here and this fucking guy is like, yeah, he's gonna take your daughter or what? No, I love him. I really love him. What?
Well, none of those things are. I mean, all of them have a scripted value to it. Are scripted to the point of like I'm supposed to believe that somebody just arbitrarily shows up at somebody's house, but there's a camera inside that person's house,
correct,
answering the door. So,
boom, boom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like like you're just sitting there flipping a newspaper. Well, where does fucking camera come from?
I know. They call it production for a reason. Produced, like and that's the difference between like the real world stuff, like where the cameras were posted,
right?
Right. And then you catch people in their natural element, which was the beginning of it, which kind of started.
Like the first couple real worlds were, I think you could say those were legit.
They were legit
because they were just people were just being followed around,
right?
And you caught how people responded.
The
to
cameras were stationary.
Things.
They were in the corners,
right?
Of every house,
very few,
none in the bathroom,
movement and stuff like that. And so there's the first few of them you can say were legit, but then after that it became a total
grab
production.
It was a money grab after that. They said these people love this shit.
They love this shit.
Now what happens if we throw some spice into it? And what happens if we take a spunky Latina girl with a feisty Italian and then mix her up with the a macho guy from France, And then the producers just sat there and just dreamt up shit. I'm saying? I'm sure that's what happened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what happens in the audition process and stuff. I knew when I was in out west of Washington, I knew a girl who was auditioning for shows, and she got on one of those shows like Survivor. So no. I take that back. Not Survivor. Like something where everybody lives in a house and they got to do shit and they.
Yeah, but then they transcribe. You're right. They then transposed it into like Who Wants to Be a Rapper, right? And Who Wants to Be, you know, and then You Live in the House, and then the P Diddy thing, you know, they did it,
right?
And it just got exasperated. I mean, it was just, and then they turned it into, oh well, we'll just go out for brunches and you know, sit and talk to you know.
Just have a show. You know, well, I'm curious as to what the value is in just showing like regular people.
Like Fred goes to work every day.
Fred goes to work and gets a coffee.
Right.
Ooh, he stops and sees an old friend. Oh, he stops by the hospital to visit his mother.
Right. But there's no one wants to see that. There's no one. I mean, that's everybody's life. Everybody wants that fantasy.
Right.
Know, they want that, you know, glamorous life. They all want to be what it's like to be a celebrity or what it's like to be famous. You know, and to be honest with you, it's just, you know, it's a no wins. Only the producers win. I guess the sponsors win. The people,
pretty much, yeah.
Because these people, well, I'll take that back. Some of them have gone off to have illustrious careers, you know, and
one of the things the producers get is they get anonymity.
Yeah.
So now, okay, they make X amount of dollars because they put this together. They can still go to their favorite restaurant.
Correct.
And you know, and enjoy a meal
and enjoy
and not
themselves.
Be bothered.
Yes.
Meanwhile, so and so whose business, you know, some of their business we all know. We just know what's out in the middle of the street. Is out. Can't go to a restaurant. Somebody always talks to them, and they think they know them because we think we do. Because now that we said it's reality TV, well, that's who that person is.
Yeah.
We're not willing to admit that there's some production quality to it because that would make it fake and that would make it a show.
Right.
And therefore, I'm not interested in a show. I want to see real life. And so that's who that person is.
Put some more stank on it.
Put some stank on it. Some what? Stank.
I watched his special, by the way.
Who, Brian Regan?
Brian
Regan's hilarious.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
He's hilarious. And a clean comic.
Clean,
too.
Yes, clean comic.
Which is amazing.
I like clean comics. I really like the clean comics.
Well, Jerry Seinfeld doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably say that Jerry Seinfeld was one of the greatest comedians walking. And
you could say that. I won't say that.
You really?
I don't like Jerry Seinfeld.
Okay, all right.
I don't.
Well,
I don't find him funny. Like I don't find it like for me to, and I like comics. I like a lot of he says a couple of liners that are
comedians like Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, right.
Comedians give him a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Comedians give him a lot of credit. I do love his show. You see the comedians in cars with coffee.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. Have you seen that?
No.
You got to watch that.
I just won't. I don't
it's
like
hilarious.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Because no, I think you'd like it because it's not him doing a bit.
Right.
It's not him doing bits. It's actual like little conversation that he has with other comedians and stuff, and that is funny.
Yeah,
comes off as funny.
Like I never liked the show Seinfeld. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 episodes. It never was my thing. He was never a guy that I like said, oh, I like this guy. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Nothing. Okay. Nothing. You know, just not enough room. There's so many other guys that I don't have room for him.
Not enough room on the list.
Yeah, on my.
I got you. I feel
on my list of comedians.
He's not. Yeah, I guess he's not on my list either. But like comedians give him the cred for being a top comic. Yeah. And I think when you look at careers, you're going to say his career is a long-standing career.
Sure. He would be in the Billy Crystal category. And
see, now that's a guy who I don't like.
See, how about that?
Don't like.
How about that?
I'm not a big Billy Crystal fan.
I mean, I was. You know, he hasn't done anything, but you know,
I never thought he was funny.
Interesting.
I never thought Billy Crystal was funny. See, that's funny how that comes up.
That's
like he does his things and he does. I'm like, it's not funny.
Yeah, it's not funny. But that's what I meant. That's the same thing I meant about Jerry Seinfeld. Like you know, for me, it just wasn't funny. It is. I'm confident that it's a vibration. It's a nerve, or it's a you just don't hit it. You don't hit the tone right. You know, like John Leguizamo, right? He's not that funny to me.
I don't think so either.
He was like to me. He was like a fake Billy Crystal. You know, I didn't like him because he was a fake Billy Crystal-ish kind of guy. It kind of came in that void in that space.
I like him in those. I like him as a. What's the word I'm looking for? Like the flavor he can put into a supporting small role.
Yes.
Like the little shit he does on the John Wick franchise.
Yeah.
The little bit.
Yeah, he has the car guy.
That's about as much I can take of John Leguizamo.
Well, there's a new guy. There's a new guy now who fills that void, right? I don't know his name. Danny something or whatever. He plays in the Wasp. He plays in Ant-Man. He plays in
the Mexican guy.
Yeah,
Danny Trejo.
No, not much.
I didn't see any of the Wasp.
The guy that fucking played. Oh my god. He's the new John Leguizamo character. Ant-Man cast. This guy here, Michael Pena.
Oh yeah.
Michael Pena is the new. He's the new John Leguizamo, Spanish Latin guy, comedy relief, but serious. You know what I'm saying? And he does it well. He really plays the part well. In all of the movies I see him in, he's very talented in not stereotyping and typecasting himself.
Right. He's right.
And I'm sure I wonder if he does what I think he's doing, and I think he's making a conscious effort not to typecast himself as the Latin guy. You know what I mean?
Well, I think he's hit that. He's hit that stride.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm sure. I mean, when you look at his earlier stuff, he was the Latin dude. He's that's
the Spanish guy.
That's how he came up. But now he's in a stride where, first of all, if you're gonna talk to him to be in the movie, you got to come with X amount of dollars. Yeah. I mean, he can command a certain amount of money for roles that he
he plays Narcos. He's in that now. He's got
a nice stride, man.
Yeah, he's got a nice run. I mean, there's guys that have a run.
Got a nice run. Get your cash, build a house, make sure the money's in a trust fund for the kids.
Right, exactly.
And then after that you can chill.
Lion King is coming back in theaters.
It's a live action.
The real version, yes.
Right. We mean the real version.
Well, meaning live, meaning real. It's a little CGI mixed with a little bit of animation.
There's another one too. They're spending a lot of money. They're doing all these movies. They got the Avengers thing, is Disney. Huh? The Marvel.
What do you mean? What about the franchise?
The Marvel franchises are now owned by Disney. They're doing Toy Story.
4, 5?
Something like that. 4 or 5.
I just saw the picture of Woody standing there.
I think they're doing Aladdin again. I want to say.
Yeah, Aladdin was great. I mean, they're classics. I mean, some of the classics are classics, but I'm interested to see Lion King with this with technology. You know what I mean? Doing it that way. I mean, you had to. If they're gonna stick to the story and do it all over again, and I think James Earl Jones is still in it. Like,
really,
he's still the voice.
Of Mufasa?
Yes, he's still in there.
It's an old
Donald Glover's in it.
That's an old archetypal story.
Yes,
of the son, sort of resurrecting the father, and using that to go forward to take his place.
Right.
In
finding his own identity,
using the
kind of not wanting to be such a king, so to speak. Want to live my own life, but I have no.
Same thing in Black Panther. Black Panther was the same thing too.
Yes.
Like, he denied it for such a long time, but then he came to it and incorporated it, and to do that, that's how he became the
very interesting. King. Yeah. See, that's what I like. If you're gonna redo something, then redo the thing, not the that. Like, don't do the story exactly to the letter verbatim.
Right.
Recreate that, theme, so that you can reinstill those values and then tell it in your own way.
Right. Well, they're all stories that we've retold these stories millions and millions and millions of years.
Correct.
And we recognize them.
Right.
So we know. You don't have to tell me who the hero is in a story, because when you look at it, you see it.
Right.
Because you identify with it.
No, 100%. I'm just saying, like, I wish Hollywood would pay more attention to that instead of saying, "Oh, let's just do Nutty Professor 3 again. Like, let's just make this over again because everyone liked that." So, and there's so much more concepts and life lessons that can be taught, even if you just don't have to plagiarize it.
I love those Nutty Professor movies.
Oh, they're great. I love
the part at the end where, like, he's, Sherman is taking over and getting Buddy out. Yeah. And the last thing Buddy says, "Sherman, don't forget to strut." So even in all of that, he takes away something from that. He has to incorporate that in his life. You know, but as incorrigible as Buddy Love was, Buddy Love basically told him, "Look, you got to walk into a room with some confidence, and that you are the man, and you don't have to take a back seat to anybody." Huh. And so, because you've squelched that, I am the personification of that which you wish you were.
True. Well, great franchise. I mean, that was there more? How many?
There was 3.
Was it really? Wow. Okay.
No, 2. Huh. 2. I'm thinking of
Clumps.
No.
Clumps?
Well, yeah. Okay. The Clumps was the 3rd one, but I'm thinking of the other one he did, which started off good, but it was shitty. The doctor who talks to animals. Doolittle. Yes.
Doolittle. Yeah, that had 3.
Yes.
Or 4. Which had
that should have stopped it.
Yeah.
That should have
stopped.
So many of these movies, like if they stop at 1, you could have called them classics.
Yes.
If you stopped at Dr. Doolittle, you could have said Dr. Doolittle, that was a classic. But then he had to do it again, and it kind of like, okay. Right. The one with the bachelors, the guys that go to Vegas, with Bradley Cooper and
Hangover. Yeah, you don't Hangover? I liked all 3 of them.
I hated
I liked all 3 of them.
It was the same one.
I know.
It was like leftover clips from the first one.
It was like the B-roll,
right. Yeah, but if you like left it alone, then Hangover was a classic movie. It was a classic comedy movie, especially at the end when they go through all those pictures. Yeah. That was the best part of the damn movie. That
is the best part of the movie.
Oh my god!
Oh, you see the whole thing replay itself in 30 seconds.
Yes.
That was classic. That still is a classic. I did see, on the topic of movies, which I saw the Puppet Murders, the Happy.
The Happy Time Murders.
Happy Time Murders.
Was that what you like it? Dude, I didn't get to see when it was out. Did you like it?
Dude, this is something. It was weird. Okay, it was really weird talking about puppet pussy and this private eye. I've never seen anything like this before, and I'm convinced that this was a hit. I mean, a miss. Like they missed it because it was just so raw. I mean, everything was pussy this, pussy, fuck you. It was very raw, very raunchy, very, and while they could have gotten their point across, it was an old gumshoe detective story with the guy, and the lady, the story, again, the same story that we know with the lady with the cigarette. I need help. It was great.
Saxophone. They play saxophone.
Yeah, it was great. He's a drunk. It was great. But the integration of puppets and people was like, yeah, fuck you, puppet. Give me your eye. And they pluck the puppets like they were accepted into society, but they were the lowest form of society.
Okay.
So people would pick on him, and he'd be like, "Hey, leave that puppet alone! You fucking fuck you gonna do, sock? You fucking sock." I was like, "I want that sock over here." It was crazy. Melissa McCarthy, who's a stellar actress,
she's great,
a stellar actor. She really, it was just weird. I just don't know what I was looking at, and I spent the whole time going. Wait.
It's the shit you can't. It's the shit that now you can't do. You can't do anything close to that, and so you got to do it in puppets. And then now you do it in puppets, then you can do the shit 10 times greater than what you can do. There's some movies that you can't do. You couldn't make Tropic Thunder now.
No,
you couldn't make Tropic Thunder.
Well,
now.
we watched Blazing Saddles yesterday.
Oh, Blazing Saddles! Oh my god!
I watched Blazing Saddles with Mario and his wife, and she's Asian, she's Chinese, so she did not understand any of this. Why is he doing that? Why he punched a horse? Why he? I'm like, Helen, you gotta just watch it. He's a black sheriff in the fucking time when it's not accepted, and
absolutely.
And she was like,
great.
She called him nigga. She
up just yours,
like
nigga.
Yeah, up yours, nigga. I'm sorry about the up yours nigga thing. Here's a pie. Yo, that. How much schnitzel can we have, baby? I'm after 14 schnitzel. I'm done.
When the deputy comes up on the guys on the chain gang, says, "Hey, how about playing us one of those nigger songs?" In some
they sang like a Elvis Presley
like
song
a classic Nat King Cole song or what.
It was like
no, what Camptown fires do dar.
And then the overseer came and was like, get your fucking get back to work. No, but you couldn't do that today.
No, you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that now, and that's a shame because it's one of those things where it was doing it to show how silly that notion is.
Correct.
To show how dumb that notion is.
So watching it with somebody who's never seen it,
Mm-hmm.
for one, is, you become the tour guide, right? So
Right.
I'm the tour guide explaining to people, and I'm explaining to her, this was done on purpose. Like, they purposely spoofed this to show how ridiculous
Right.
it was to be racist about,
Right.
simple stuff that, he was like, you better rub it off,
Right,
Like,
right.
Like, come on, man, that's funny. Like, and that was the whole point behind it all. It was like, people just, I guess, took it for granted and just didn't understand.
Right, and understand what was going on. I mean, same thing with characters like Archie Bunker. You couldn't, although they're trying to do, well, no, not to the extent of an Archie Bunker. But they have guys who are kind of like bigoted and stuff. But it's still soft. But an Archie Bunker couldn't exist now. And the idea of an Archie Bunker was to show you how ridiculous it is, because Archie Bunker was the butt of all the jokes at the end.
Right.
At the end, it came to fruition how silly he was with his notions that he had.
Well, I like David Alan Grier's character in the Carmichael Show. The father he plays in that. He's kind of a Archie Bunker racial kind of guy on the midst of, like, I want my cake and eat it too. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm politically correct when it's time for my job, but then fuck
you get
y'all,
home,
right. So I like those. I mean, there's I guess there's plenty of attempts to try to recreate, some of the good times. Remember, like, damn, I can't stop this guy. Like Three's Company. Three's Company had the same theme in every episode.
Yes.
It was the same story over and over and over. Hey, Jack, can you put it in? Oh, push it down. Oh, pack it in. Yeah, every like, that was crazy to me. That every episode was Mr. Furley listening.
Right.
Stick it in. Oh.
Jack doesn't know how to stick anything in. And can you make shorts shorter?
Yes.
That's one of the reasons. That's one of the things that I kept watching. I was like, can these shorts get any fucking shorter?
I know. And could she be any dumber, or could she be like the
right?
dumb
Exactly.
blonde,
right. It just exacerbated all those
the
stereotypes.
Brunette.
Exactly. Right. We didn't know who she was. We didn't know.
Right. It was crazy. I mean, that whole genre of TV. Ooh. That whole genre of TV was quite. I mean, you got those guys like Norman Lear and all those guys that were really putting those shows together were revolutionary, because they did not have the past reference to show. So now you're trying new things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you're dealing with social economics at the same time. You have a president that was murdered. You had the different times, things that happened that like you're really trying to.
Well, some things haven't been like. Has anybody? Have you? Could you say anything as close to what Good Times was?
No.
I mean, a black family living in the projects. With a strong male figure.
Yes.
Strong male figure.
Dad. Yeah.
Matter of fact, a strong family structure. It was a strong family structure. It was a solid family structure.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't think that
he
was the working
anymore.
man.
He was the working man. Maybe it's a shoot, but maybe Roseanne was like the closest thing to that.
Yeah.
But that was on a different. But it was still like it was a working class family, as opposed to a family living in the projects.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, it was more suburban kind of. Huh.
But nothing that close. And apparently they screwed the show, because all of a sudden they wanted to. There's a documentary called Color Contradictions, and it talks about how a lot of media, and it points to that show as one of them, made these changes, to which it walked away. Like, normally it walked away from it, because I think after a couple years in, they wanted to focus so much on JJ. And if you notice, there was a change in which JJ became the front character, the house, and he became the goof. Yeah. So he became a goofy black guy, and Norman Lear didn't like that, so he walked away from it. John Amos didn't like it, so then he walked away from doing Good Times, because it was supposed to be about a strong family. Supposed to be about a strong family getting together, and then it became
about good times,
and then it became about how much fun we can have at JJ's expense.
Right.
And that's when people walked away from it. If you notice, there was a thing where Norman Lear was writing it, but then he didn't. He just got credit for creating the show. And then when
I have to look at that. What's it called again? Say it.
Colored Contradictions.
Colored Contradictions.
It has to do with the perceptions of black people in media. It's old, so some of the references are a little bit older.
Yeah, well, that's those are the good ones because now you can see how that even evolved.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of almost pick its own truth out of it and go, they were kind of onto something.
Yeah, they were onto something. I mean, we still see it now. I mean,
yeah.
How often do you see? And I don't watch a lot of television and stuff, so I wouldn't know how to say this. But how often do you see just a regular old black person? Like the only thing that makes him black is that he's black. His hair ain't funky. He doesn't have a funky name.
Yeah.
He's not an artist.
Right.
Right. He doesn't walk funny or he doesn't do anything. He's just he's no different from anybody else, other than the fact that he's black. Everybody who's black seems to have a story.
Yeah.
Attached to them, as opposed to just being just a regular,
this is true.
Just a regular person. Regular person goes to work and taking care of his or her family.
Chirac, or what was it called? The Shy.
Yes, the Shy.
Good show.
Yes,
great show. But yes, the black guy had a thing. He was recovering dope.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And guy played the hell out of that role too.
And there's stories to be told, but then it also begs the question, like, why are these the only stories to tell? Like, why? Like when are we gonna say that the black man is the American man? That there's no difference between the black man and the American man. There's no difference between you and me and the Irish Catholic who why is that person more symbolic of America?
I'm kind of flabbergasted right now because I'm at loss for words. I don't know of a show that has depicted that ever again since the Cosby, obviously that era.
Maybe Blackish is, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe Blackish is kind of touching that.
Yeah. What does Anthony Anderson do?
I don't know.
Me either.
I don't know. I think I've seen one episode.
I've seen a couple of them. He's like a comic. He's like a stand-up comic or something. He's an entertainer.
Okay. So kind of like a version of the Bernie Mac show.
Correct. It's like a shuck and jive kind of a guy, and it did become very. I stopped watching it because it became very shucky jivey.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah,
it did. The Bernie Mac show did. Okay, I'm not.
No.
Crazy.
Well, both Blackish became very shucky jivey towards the end, and then they went to college. The girl went to college.
Okay.
And they became kind of serious, and I like that version of it better. But
that's a different show, right?
Yes, it was a spin-off with the young girl that played in there, and she went to college, and I think it was college, Grownish. Okay. Grownish. It was a spin-off, and I don't know if it still aired or whatever. I can't follow TV. TV is so hard, like because of internet, because of streaming and shows on demand. You can watch what you want to watch, not program TV.
Right. What happened? You remember those days? Remember those days you had to get home because your show was coming up.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but I got to get home, man. Someone's, Hill Street Blues is on,
right?
Or whatever.
Thundercats. Lion-O.
The Thundercats. It's like the Jets are doing something against the Eagles.
These are the Giants.
Excuse me. Forgive me. Sorry. New York team.
Yes. This would be, I don't want to jinx it, but it would be 3 in a row. And if the Knicks win tonight, we'll be 3 in a row.
Woo! So what's up with the Knicks, man?
Boom. 2 in a row. I mean, they're evolving. They're learning themselves. I think Fizdale is trying to put different combinations out there. He's trying to figure it out. It's unfortunate to be in the learning. You have to, at some point, we're 20 games into the season of an 82-game season, right? So you played 20 games now. That's a quarter, right?
Yes.
20, 40, right. So it's a quarter of the season. At some point, he has to figure out, but he's not. He doesn't have his pieces, so he's got Lance Thomas hurt. You got what's the other guy named Corey? The fuck is his name? He's out. Or the other kid is out. My daughter's in love with the kid. And what you call it? Porzingis. He's out. So you got a lot of pieces out, but this young team is really.
Are they in rebuild mode?
So that's what you would think, right? You would think you're in rebuild mode and trying to keep, but notoriously, what fans know about the Knicks is that they'll trade somebody. Like they don't have room on the team, so somebody's got to go when KP comes back. Porzingis comes back when Courtney Lee is the kid.
Okay.
So more than likely they'll trade him because he hasn't played this whole season. I'm more than believing for salary cap they'll trade him.
He make a lot of money.
Decent. I mean, the guys. I don't know what the fuck it is. The guys in New York make killer money. But people don't understand. Like to live in New York, the expenses.
Well, it costs more. It costs more to
live
keep
here.
It. Right.
What I'm saying? I mean,
now, are they clear? Now, there's a lot of talk about them going after a guy like Durant next year.
Yes, I've heard.
You think that's feasible, or
I don't think Durant would come here. I don't think he'd play here. I don't think he wants to be part of something to make it like Kevin Durant is not a player to me that can say I can make any team a championship team.
You don't think so? Okay.
I don't think he can make New York a championship team.
But do you think he could be at that point in his career where he's like, okay, I got my rings. I got my rings. I'm part of my championship. Now the next level of sort of status is being the piece to now bring a championship back to a fledgling.
No, I don't see it.
But historic franchise.
I don't see it.
No,
I don't see it. I don't see it only for the. Oh damn! Pull this face. I don't see it only for the pure fact that there's no draw. Like people forget the I always go back to the Amari Stoudemire when he came to New York and the real estate agent showed him his apartments and he's like, "Where's the rest of the house?" Like, this is $10 million. A $10 million apartment in the West Side, to live in Manhattan, and yes, it's 3 floors up, but it's a brownstone, and he's like, "This is nice, but this ain't." In Phoenix, I had a fucking basketball court, I had acres, I had a horse, I had fucking shit. That draw is gone. Like there's, if you told me, "Yo, come live in New York. You get to hang out in Manhattan every day." You go to Manhattan every day, and you can't wait to get the fuck out.
I can't wait to leave. Yeah.
I can't wait to leave it. I can't wait to leave the city.
To leave. I'll hang out in Manhattan.
I'll hang out. I'll do a drink a beer, do 2 beers, 3 beers. Yo, let's go. You ready to catch that train? Yeah,
that's right. Let's go.
Because there's no this mystification or whatever it's called. This thing about living in Manhattan is over. I think it's over.
Yeah.
I think it's over. That's an old rich when the palace was the palace and they tip your hat and you had this old. Now it's so service sucks everywhere you go. Everyone's kind of like there's no traditional New York. Even though hotels, they're all. Some of them try to do it, with the bellman, with the fancy coats and the, start bringing back some of that nostalgia and Renaissance because it's important. You want to have that regal. You want to have that
some regalness to it, right?
This is New York. Like this is the best city.
Right.
This is shit is polished. Shit is it. I blame that on our unions, and our labor contracts and the laborers
does draw a lot of money out. Yep,
it pulls a lot out, and guys were like, "Fuck it, man! Don't polish those fucking things until they pay the overtime, and they don't do this, they don't do that, bum bum bum." And so now it's like not even about the service anymore. You're just doing it for the paycheck, and guys are like, "Well, I was at one of the jobs I'm on now, and the owner's telling us, I can't make it. I could sell the place out and I still can't make money because I pay so many people union." And I went to the front desk and I happened to know the guys at the front desk and the guys and they were like, "Man, there's nothing I can do about this." I said, 8 guys in the corner talking to each other. They all work here. Bellman, the captain, the bellman, they're all standing in the corner and people are like, where do I? Yeah. Like no one's going to the lady. "Hi, man, welcome to the so and so." I don't want to say the name of the hotel. "Welcome to the so and so. Can we help you? Can we get your bags? Where you going?" They're all engaged in. Yeah, you saw the Giants, you saw the football, you saw the game, you saw this, you saw that, and I'm like, what the fuck? Even at Penn Station, we see hordes of police officers huddled in the corner, looking at some fucking on the cell phone.
Yeah,
that's disturbing to me.
Yes.
Because you're working. Like you're supposed to help people. You're distracted. You're severely distracted by looking at a fucking phone. And there's 80 you guys. I'm looking at. I'm like 40,000, 80,000.
And you're supposed to check shit.
Right.
You're supposed to.
You can't be part of this. What everyone else is doing. Like we're all doing this. So you can't be on your phone and I'm on my phone at the same time.
Right. I'm hustling back and forth and I'm on my phone. Why? Because you're the one who's supposed to be. Hey, if this motherfucker here starts reaching for something, you're supposed to be the one that walks over and says, "Hey, everything cool? You're
I know.
okay?"
It's a scammer's candy land.
Right.
Like a pickpocket would have a field day.
Yeah.
You remember the old school pickpockets slice your pants and your wallet falls out? They have a field day because the cops aren't paying attention. And they got all these tassels. They got guys with machine guns, and they're all fucking talking to each other. And I'm like, where's the fucking discipline here? There should be a strict, you should be militant with your shit. There should be yes, it should be uncomfortable. It should be very uncomfortable, but then that makes me feel safe. I don't feel safe with these fuckers.
Right.
Because they're just like me. Because
you're on your phone. Right.
They're like me.
Yeah, there's no difference between...
They're distracted just like me. They're fucking on their phone. They're like, yo, did you see this? Excuse me? And, 9 times out of 10, someone's asking them directions because they're a person in uniform at a place when I'm lost.
Right. So you look for an official, somebody that has some official status to them. Right.
Yeah. And that pisses me off. I see people go to them, like these tourists. I'm sorry, sir. I'm looking for these. We're the police. We're not the tourists. Go to the information booth. They scream at the people. They yell. They're horrible ambassadors of our city. And I hope you guys see this, because you guys suck. And I got pictures of all you fuckers, too. Fucking sitting on there on your phone, watching porn and doing what God knows whatever. You're really not helping the people. You should be ashamed of yourself, man. Spread out, be in formation, and be attentive.
Be attentive.
And be looking for shit.
About being attentive, right, exactly.
Looking for shit. These guys are just standing around fucking... Hey, did you see you saw the meme with Bill Cosby and the pudding face?
Well, I always get upset when I hear this comment about, hey, police officer, just the main thing is you want to get home safe.
Right.
You want to get home. We want to get home safe. No, I don't want my policeman going home safe. The reason why you're there, because if it's the difference between me getting home safe and you getting home safe, I get home safe.
Right.
You're supposed to the one that's supposed to be inconvenienced for shit, because that's the job you signed up for. We gave you training, we gave you a gun and stuff. So if somebody's not supposed to be safe, it's you. You are not supposed to go home. Sorry, that's what the job is. 100%. I'm supposed to go home. You're supposed to go home.
Right.
Officer, no, you are not supposed to go home.
You got paperwork.
You're supposed to deal with this shit. No, but you're exactly right. Yeah,
I think there's a new saying. I think we're gonna start this campaign to make sure that people, like, when you get arrested or you get pulled over and there's an officer with a gun, and it's, while it is unfortunate and it happens way too often, I think there should be. You remember the old school, hey, if he's a cop, he has to tell you, right? Remember the
he has to tell you what?
If you were hustling and you're selling to an undercover, are you a police officer?
Okay.
But it's a myth, by the way.
It's a myth, right? None of that doesn't
matter.
exist.
It's not existing in court, you know what I'm saying? But I think that there's a point where if you are approached and ever in that situation, and I think there's a moment when you have to ask an officer, are you fearing for your life? Are you afraid of me right now? And he has to, at some point, hopefully it's recorded, if he says no, let's just say if he says, no, I'm not afraid of you, now get down, you know what I'm saying? That rules out the I feared for my life.
Right.
Right? If you can get him to say, I'm not afraid of you, that would eliminate the they always win on the I feared for my life.
Fear for my life, right.
So let's reverse that. Let's say if you ever are you afraid, officer? I'm sorry. Are you afraid? Because I'm not threatening you. Are you afraid? Now, if you can ask that question with your hands up,
right?
I mean, you should have a favorable response, because he should at least go, no, I'm not. Wait, no, I'm not afraid of you. Fuck, sit down, you fuck. Like, right. Let me put my gun away. Like, stop this shit. Like, because you have to de-escalate it somehow.
Right.
And I don't think I'm not saying to mouth off back to any officer, which is never a good. Nothing good ever comes out of it.
No, nothing good ever comes out of it.
When you try to undermine their authority, they take it the complete left.
And it's not meant to undermine police officers either, because they have a tremendously tough job, and it's a job that I wouldn't want to do.
No, so, it's tremendously tough. You're 100% correct. But at some point, the fear factor. The fear of that's common. The thread I'm hearing over and over. Well, I feared for my life.
Yeah.
And I let one off. I popped this guy 7 times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So fear. Let's establish that. Let's approach the fear part. Are you afraid of me?
Are you afraid of me?
Are you afraid of me, officer? Is that not a valid question? Is that not a? And what's he gonna say? Shut the fuck up.
Probably, yeah. Right. I'll probably tell you to shut up.
Shut up. Shut up and do as I say.
Look, there's some people who there's actually lawyers. There are these lawyers who I catch online every once in a while, and they say you should never talk to a police officer for anything. Right. If they ask you a question, you have no answer for them. No. Because they pointed out something. They said, in the Miranda
reading
rights, you know, says anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Correct.
Okay. It never says it will exonerate you should we find out that this information is inconsistent with what we're looking for. It never helps you.
Right.
According to the Miranda warning, it does not help you. It will be used against you. It will never help you. Right. So never in the Miranda warning does it says, "Hey, look, you know what? if it doesn't apply to what we're talking about, okay, no worries. You're free to go." That never happens.
It's interesting. Can be used against you. Anything you say can be used against you.
Well, can and will.
Can and will be used. Ooh. That's pretty tough.
Yes.
The Miranda is But know your rights. Get your copy of the Penal Code book, which they sell a handheld version of it. I used to keep one in the car, and it's funny because when you go through life and you're going through a tough time, and you always feel like you kind of draw that attention to yourself.
It's like when it rains it pours. It's like
right.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you don't think of it and you're not like, I'm not doing nothing wrong. Why would I need a copy of the Penal Code? Why would I? I'm not observing my rights here. I'm not being violated. I'm not. There's a lot to say about that. You're drawing the attention to yourself. But hopefully no one we know that follows this show and subscribes to this show is ever going to have that problem.
No.
Put your hands up and say, "Are you afraid of me?" I hope not.
Oh, this. If you get shot after that,
don't blame what the disclaimer. We're disclaiming that completely, but don't blame us. Call out Sharpton.
That's right. Then I'll go back on that phone. Say, you remember this motherfucker who asked us if he was afraid of us?
Yeah. Beep. Hands up, don't shoot. So I think that's it for this week.
Okay.
We're going to get out of here, try to get some of that good weather outside. It might just be turning. It looks like it's turning. It looks like it's going quick. Like, is it turning?
It's possible. Yeah, who knows? But it's typical.
Hey, 50
typical
degrees.
Weather. 50 degrees.
Can't believe the Hess truck is still around, man.
I know.
And they got motorcycles and they got the bus and all that stuff.
I know.
But again, this is a tradition. This is something that,
the Hess truck, yes.
You got it. It came, you got one.
The Hess truck, the Hess motorcycle. What we got to have? The Hess, I guess the Hess self-driving car.
The Hess RV. Like, it's like a RV. Yeah, look at that. It's awesome.
Holy shit. Maybe I'll get that. Maybe I'll get that for Miles.
Get Miles a Hess truck.
A Hess truck.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be yes. Hess truck.
Okay, my man. Nice talking to you.
Hey, great talking to you, bro.
Always a pleasure. And try to have a blessed week.
I will have a blessed week.
Bam. Two Bros Podcast, episode 42. Cuatro dos.
Back to the Spanish.
Cuatro dos. Back to the Spanish. Es Spanish.